Good morning students. In the previous video we see the efficiency of different rectifiers. Now we are going to see the peak inverse voltage of half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier and center of rectifier. Before going to see the peak inverse voltage of these rectifiers, what is meant by peak inverse voltage? Peak inverse voltage is the reverse voltage. It occurs in the diode in reverse bias. That means the capability of the diode can withstand without destroying the diode is known as the peak inverse voltage. The ability of the diode can withstand without destroying the diode is called peak inverse voltage. The peak inverse voltage appears in reverse bias, reverse or peak, negative peak of the diode. So it appears across transformer secondary winding during the negative half cycle. For half wave rectifier, the peak inverse voltage is maximum voltage, that means peak voltage. For center tap rectifier, we are using two diodes. So across these two diodes, we have two Vm peak inverse voltages maximum. So we will get in center tap rectifier peak inverse voltage is 2 Vm. For bridge rectifier, it is Vm only. So for half wave and bridge rectifier, we will get the peak inverse voltage Vm, and for center tap rectifier, the peak inverse voltage is 2 Vm. So that's why we are not using center tap rectifier in most of the applications, and the cost of the center tap rectifier is more when compared to the half wave rectifier and bridge rectifier, because the cost of the transformer is more than cost of the diodes. Okay, transformer utilization factor. It is represented as TUF, transformer utilization factor. It is the ratio of DC power delivered to the load divided by AC rating of the transformer secondary. If you see, it's look like a efficiency of rectifier, but it is some bit little different. It has a little different from efficiency of the rectifier. The formula for efficiency of rectifier is DC power delivered to the load divided by AC power. But here the transformer utilization factor is DC power delivered to the load divided by AC rating of the transformer secondary. That is represented with PDC divided by PAC rated, not PAC rated. In efficiency of rectifier, we are using PDC divided by PAC. But here for TUF, transformer utilization factor, PDC divided by PDC rated. We know what is PDC. PDC is the IDC square into RL. Yes or no? So PDC equal to IDC square into RL. What is IDC? For half wave rectifier, to calculate efficiency, transformer utilization factor for half wave rectifier, transformer utilization factor for half wave rectifier. So it is TUF equal to PDC divided by PAC rated. What is meant by PDC? DC power delivered to the load. So PDC equal to IDC square into RL. What is meant by IDC? For half wave rectifier, IDC equal to IM by pi. Substitute IDC value in the PDC, then PDC equal to IM divided by pi whole square into RL. And what is PAC? PAC is IM by 2 into Vm by root 2. Im by 2 into Vm root 2. Substitute PDC and PAC values in transformer utilization factor. Then we will get TUF equal to, what is PDC? Im square pi square into RL divided by Im by 2 into, we can write Vm by root 2 as Im by root 2 into RL. Im by root 2 into RL. Now Im gets cancelled. Im square and Im gets cancelled. RL gets cancelled. Then we will get transformer utilization factor TUF equal to 2 root 2 divided by pi square. 2 root 2 divided by pi square. After simplification, TUF equal to 0.287 for half wave rectifier. To calculate PDC, transformer utilization for full wave rectifier, the value of IDC is 2 Im by pi. Remaining factors are same. The value of IDC equal to 2 Im by pi. After substituting the values and after simplification, TUF for full wave rectifier is 0.693. This is the transformer utilization factor for half wave rectifier, and this is the transformer utilization factor for full wave rectifier. The basic intention between transformer utilization factor is, before designing the half wave rectifier or full wave rectifier, our intention is how the transformer is working or how much of the transformer is effectively used in the rectifier circuits. That is the function of transformer utilization factor. Form factor and peak factor of the rectifiers. What is meant by form factor? Form factor is the ratio of RMS value to average value. Form factor is the ratio of RMS value. For half wave rectifier, what is the RMS value? The RMS value of half wave rectifier is Im by 2. I am considering in terms of current. So IRMS equal to Im by 2. And average value IDC equal to Im by pi. This is for the half wave rectifier. Now calculate form factor. Form factor equal to RMS value Im by 2 divided by Im by pi. Im gets cancelled, then form factor 5 by 2. After simplification, the form factor is 1.57 for half wave rectifier. For full wave rectifier, form factor equal to, so IRMS for full wave rectifier is Im by root 2, and for IDC equal to, that means average value IDC equal to 2 Im by pi. So after substituting these values in the form factor, we will get Im by root 2 divided by 2 Im by pi. Im gets cancelled and Im by remaining is 2 Im by 2 root 2. After simplification, we will get the full form factor for half wave rectifier. Full wave rectifier is 1.11. The form factor for full wave rectifier is, what is that? 1.11. Now calculate the peak factor for the half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. What is meant by peak factor? Peak factor is the ratio of peak value to RMS value. Here for half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier, the peak value is Vm and RMS value is for half wave rectifier. The RMS value is, what is the RMS value? Im by root. For full wave rectifier, the RMS value is Im by root 2. From the calculations, we will get peak factor. For half wave rectifier is, what is that? Peak value Vm by RMS value for half wave rectifier of, that means here I am considering current, so Im divided by Im by 2. Im gets cancelled and we have peak factor is 2 for the half wave rectifier. For full wave rectifier, peak factor is Im divided by, what is the IRMS for the full wave rectifier? That is Im by root 2. So Im by root 2. Im gets cancelled and we will get peak factor is root 2. So this is the peak factor for the half wave rectifier and peak factor for the full wave rectifier. Okay? Peak factor is the ratio of peak value to the RMS value. Here peak value is same for the half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier, but RMS value is different. RMS value is Im by root for half wave rectifier and Im by root 2 is for the full wave rectifier. Ultimately, at the last we will get peak factor for full wave rectifier is root 2 and half wave rectifier is 2 only. Comparison of rectifiers. Here we are considering half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, that means full wave centered half rectifier and bridge rectifier. We know according to the construction, the first point is number of diodes. For half wave rectifier we are using only one diode. For full wave centered half rectifier we are using 2 diodes and for bridge rectifier we are using 4 diodes. Okay, so for half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier and bridge rectifier, according to the construction, it requires number of diodes are 1, 2, 4. Now the second point is VDC, that means average voltage or DC voltage. The average voltage for half wave rectifier is how much? Vm by pi, and for full wave rectifier is 2 Vm by pi, and bridge rectifier also it is 2 Vm by pi. We are calculated these values from the derivations in the previous classes. Now the third point is peak inverse voltage. What is meant by peak inverse voltage? The maximum voltage the diode can withstand without destroying the junction of the diode is called peak inverse voltage. So the peak inverse voltage for half wave rectifier is Vm, full wave centered half rectifier is 2 Vm, but bridge rectifier is Vm only. Next, fourth one, refill factor. What is meant by refill factor? The RMS value of AC component to value of DC component. After calculating the refill factor for half wave rectifier, it is 1.21, and for full wave bridge rectifier it is 0.48, and same for the full wave bridge rectifier also. So that is 0.48. Now rectifier efficiency. The most important factor of rectifiers is rectifier efficiency. So for half wave rectifier the efficiency is, what is the definition for efficiency? It is the ratio of DC power delivered to the load divided by AC power. Okay. So after calculation we get half wave rectifier is efficiency is 40.6% and full wave and bridge rectifier is 81.2%. Okay. First next one, transformer utilization factor. What is the transformer utilization factor? For half wave rectifier the transformer utilization factor is 0.287, and for full wave rectifier it is 0.693, and for bridge rectifier it is 0.812. These utilization factors are different for half wave, full wave, bridge rectifier, and remaining are in most of the cases two are same and one is the different, but in transformer utilization factor is different for three rectifiers. For half wave is different, centered off is different, and bridge rectifier is also different. Okay, next one, form factor. What is the form factor? Can you say the definition for form factor? The definition for form factor is RMS value to average value. After simplification, we are getting form factor for half wave rectifier is 1.57, and for full wave bridge rectifier and full wave centered off rectifier it is 1.11 only. If you take another parameter, that is peak factor. So what is the definition for peak factor? It is the ratio of peak value to RMS value. The peak factor for half wave rectifier is 2, and for bridge rectifier and centered off rectifier it is root 2. These are the comparison of rectifiers according to different parameters. Those are number of diodes, VDC, peak inverse. We can say it as VDC or IDC. If you consider IDC, we will say IM by pi, 2IM by pi, like that. Okay, so these are the comparison of rectifiers using these factors. If you observe if you remember the RPS block diagram, after rectifier we have filter circuit. The first circuit is transformer, and second one is rectifier, and third one is the filter, and fourth one is regulator. Do you remember? Okay, first one is transformer, second one is rectifier, and third one is filter, and fourth and last one is the regulator. We already see what are those transformer and rectifiers. Now we are going to see filter. This is the block diagram of the filter. So the block diagram of the filter contains what are those? We are giving input as pulsating DC. After the output of rectifier is connected to the input of the filter circuit, and at the output of filter we will get pure DC. What is the function of rectifier? It takes alternating current and converts that alternating current into pulsating DC. That means pulsating or unidirectional DC. This is given to the filter circuit. So the filter circuit takes pulsating DC or unidirectional DC and converts that unidirectional DC into pure DC. Okay, so here in the filter circuit we know the general function of filter circuit. What is the function of filter? It removes unwanted components. So in this, according to this chapter, in this circuit, in this filter circuit, we want DC component only. We don't want AC component. So filter removes AC component and gives only DC component. That is the function of filter in this particular diagram. Okay, for the filter circuit we are using capacitor and inductor. Here we are using filter elements are capacitor and inductor. Okay, so this is the block diagram of the filter circuit. Here we are giving input as pulsating DC or unidirectional DC, and we will get output as pure DC. This is the representation of pulsating DC and pure or unidirectional DC, and this is the representation of what is that? Pure DC. Okay, properties of capacitor acts as a filter. So we know the function of capacitor. What is the function of capacitor? It stores electrostatic energy. Am I correct? The function of general function of capacitor is it stores energy in the form of electrostatic. But is there any use this function in filter? If you observe, there is no use of this one. You have to take the logic of capacitor while using the capacitor as the filter. Here the function of how the capacitor acts as a filter is the capacitor accepts or allows. If you observe the frequency band diagram, frequencies, here is the frequency. So it allows, capacitor allows high frequencies, not low frequencies. It allows high frequencies, and it allows high frequencies. That means at the high frequencies it has voltage or current value. At the high frequencies it has voltage, current or voltage. So it allows high frequencies and reject low frequencies. Okay, it allows high frequencies and reject low frequencies. That means it allows, which one is it allows? It allows AC components. AC component has high frequencies. Am I correct? Yes, the AC component has frequency, that is high frequency, and DC component has frequency is low. So for AC component it offers low impedance. Low impedance means for AC component it acts as a short circuit. For DC component it acts as an open circuit. That means for AC component it allows the AC component to the output side. It allows AC component through them. But for DC component the capacitor acts as open switch. That means it does not allow any DC component. So while using the capacitor, while connecting the capacitor in filter circuit or rectifier circuit, we should connect capacitor in parallel with the load resistor. Okay, or in parallel to the output of the rectifier. We should connect capacitor in parallel with the output of the rectifier or in parallel with the load resistor. Then only you will get the required function for the filter circuit. Okay, and the capacitor stores energy in the form of electrostatic form. Okay, so this is the circuit diagram of the capacitor filter. Here we are connecting output of the rectifier to the input of the filter. Here for filter, here we are connecting capacitor in series with the load resistance, and it is R. It is connected between in output of the rectifier and load resistor. Okay, here we should know how to connect the capacitor. We should connect capacitor in parallel with the load resistor. If you connect capacitor in series with the resistor, what will happen? The AC component will reaches the output, but our intention is to get the DC component only. Okay, so we should connect capacitor in shunt with the load resistor. Here the capacitor, after connecting the capacitor in parallel with the load resistor, what will happening? It allows, after DC, the output of DC rectifier is pulsating DC, it is applied to the capacitor. So capacitor during positive half cycle, the capacitor stores energy until peak value. During positive half cycle, the capacitor stores energy during positive half cycle. During negative half cycle, the capacitor will get discharge. So during negative half cycle, the capacitor discharges, and again during positive half cycle it stores energy. So if you observe the waveform, it looks like a triangular waveform. Am I correct? It looks like a triangular waveform. Okay, so the output of the capacitor filter is, we should assume the output of the capacitor filter is triangular. So we should remember the capacitor stores energy is equal to the energy lost by the capacitor. The energy acquired by the capacitor is equal to the energy lost by the capacitor. So here the energy acquired by the capacitor during positive half cycle is, until it is goes to So VR peak to peak. It stores energy until peak value. So VR peak to peak into energy capacitor value. VR peak to peak equal to, and what is that? IDC into T2. Here VR peak to peak is this one is the energy acquired by the capacitor during positive half cycle is equal to the energy lost by the capacitor during negative half cycle. Okay, so here T2 is half of the time period, that is T by 2. T2 equal to T by 2. We know we can write it as 1 by 2F because time period is inversely proportional to frequency. So T equal to 1 by F. Since T equal to 1 by F. Substitute T2 value in the equation. So we are peak to peak into C equal to IDC divided by 1 by VRMS equal to peak divided by 2 root 3. So what is VR peak to peak value? Substitute these values. VRMS in the ripple factor, then we will get ripple factor equal to, what is the VR peak to peak? That is VDC divided by 2F into RL into C into 1 by 2 root 3 into, what is the VDC value? 1 by VDC. So here VDC gets cancelled and we will get 2 into 2, 4. 1 by 4 root 3 F into RL into C. This is the ripple factor of the capacitor filter. If you consider frequency equal to 50 Hz, frequency equal to 50 Hz and RL in ohms, and capacitor value in microfarads, then we will get ripple factor equal to 1 by 2890 divided by RL into C. After substituting the F value in F equal to 50 Hz, we will get ripple factor for capacitor filter is 2890 divided by RL into C. So the ripple factor, if the capacitor value and resistor value is large, then ripple factor is low. If capacitor value and resistor value is small, then ripple factor value is high. So while designing the capacitor filter, we should remember capacitor value and resistor value should be high. So this is the ripple factor for the capacitor filter after taking F equal to 50 Hz. Otherwise, the ripple factor for capacitor filter is 1 by 4 root 3 F into RL into C. Here capacitor RL is in ohms and capacitor in microfarads. Properties of inductor to act as a filter. Generally, we can simply say the inductor acts as opposite to the capacitor in filter circuit. That means the function of inductor is, generally the function of inductor is it stores energy in the magnetic form. But we have to go to beyond that property, and we should recall the concepts how the inductor acts as a filter. Here the inductor. Before seeing the inductor capacitor filter, we see the energy bar frequency band diagram for filter circuit. Here we are taking frequency in hertz, and here we are taking voltage or current. Whatever you want, you can take it as in y-axis. If you take voltage, it should be in volts. Okay. So for the function of inductor, here it allows low frequencies and rejects high frequencies. It allows low frequencies and it rejects high frequencies. Here low frequencies means it allows DC component. Okay. Inductor allows DC component and blocks AC component. That means it allows low frequencies and reject high frequencies. If you see the frequency band diagram, it allows low frequencies and rejects high frequencies. Okay, high frequencies means it allows the high frequency component is AC component, so it blocks AC component and allows only low frequency components, those are DC. Okay, so while connecting the inductor, we should connect inductor in series with the load resistor. If you see the capacitor filter, we are connecting capacitor in shunt with the load resistor. But here we should connect inductor in series with the load resistor or in series with the output of the rectifier circuit. Okay, that means after rectifier output, this is the output of rectifier. So we should connect this to the inductor filter. So in the inductor should be in series with the load resistor or in series with the output of the rectifier. So this is the load resistor and this is the inductor. Here this inductor acts as a filter. So the function of this filter is it allows, which one it allows? It allows DC and blocks AC. So after allowing DC, the DC reaches to output. So at the output we will get DC, but the output is blocks at input of the filter only. We will have the output, that means AC component present at the input of the filter. At the output of the filter we will get DC component, because our intention is if you connect inductor in shunt with the series resistor, then what will happen? If you connect inductor in shunt with load resistor, then inductor allows DC. So after allowing inductor, for as DC component, it acts as a closed switch. So the DC component will reaches to the ground. There is no use of reaching DC component to the ground. Our intention is to get the DC component at the output. Okay, so we should block AC and we should allow a DC. So that's why we are connecting inductor filter in series with the load resistor. This is the block diagram circuit of the choke inductor filter or choke input filter. Here we are connecting inductor filter for the full wave rectifier, full wave center tap rectifier. We are using center tap transformer and we are taking two diodes. It will act as a rectifier circuit. The output of the rectifier is given to the input of the filter. Here the filter circuit is inductor. So this inductor allows only AC and blocks DC. That means for higher frequencies it offers high impedance, and for lower frequencies it offers low impedance. Lower frequencies means for DC component it offers low impedance. That means for AC component it does not allow AC component to reach the output. But for DC component it acts as a closed switch and it allows DC component through the inductor to reach the output. So at the input of the inductor we will get AC and DC, but at the output side we will get only DC. Okay, so this is the waveform of the inductor filter or choke input filter. For DC, for low frequencies it allowing, and for higher frequencies it blocks AC. At the output, capacitor at the output of the inductor filter we will get DC only. So to analyze the inductor filter for the full wave rectifier, we have to write the Fourier series. Fourier series and a Fourier series equation, that is V naught equal to 2Vm by pi minus 4Vm by pi into 1/3 cos omega 2 omega t plus 1/15 cos 4 omega t and so on. This is the Fourier series for the inductor filter for full wave rectifier. To analyze the inductor filter for full wave rectifier, here we are writing the Fourier series, that is V naught equal to 2Vm by pi minus 4Vm by pi into 1/3 cos 2 omega t plus 1/15 cos omega t. Here at the first component has the DC output. The higher second and higher terms has second and onwards higher terms has output, DC output is very less. So here we are neglecting third and higher components. We are considering only first and second terms. Okay, the first term is the DC component and the second term contains AC component. So write the DC component, DC current is Im equal to Vm by RL. DC component or DC current equal to Im equal to Vm by RL. Here Vm is the maximum voltage of the source voltage, maximum voltage of the source voltage Vm is. Now here we are considering series combination of inductor and resistor. So write the resistor series combination of impedance Z equal to series combination of impedance Z equal to RL square plus 2 omega L whole square. From that we will get RL square plus 4 omega square L square. For simplification we should neglect diode resistance, choke resistance and transformer resistances when compared to load resistor. For simplification we should neglect load resistance, choke resistance and transformer resistance when compared to load resistor RL. Okay, so for the AC component, AC component is Im equal to Vm divided by, here the resistance values are RL square plus 4 omega square L square. So Im equal to Vm by square root of RL square plus 4 square omega square L square. So total current in the inductor filter is represented with I equal to 2 Im by pi into RL. Here we are writing Vm as Im by RL minus 4 into 4 Im by 3 pi into square root of RL square plus 4 omega square L square. into, here we have to write cos 2 omega t minus pi. 2 omega t minus 5. So total current in a inductor filter equal to 2 Im by pi into RL minus 4 Im into cos 2 omega t minus pi divided by 3 pi into square root of RL square plus 4 omega square L square. Okay. So according to the definition of Riffel factor, what is the Riffel factor? Riffel factor equal to RMS value to average value. What is the RMS value here? Here the RMS value is 4 Im by 3 root 2 pi into square root of 4 omega square L square. Here cos 2 omega t minus pi. Here pi is the angle. The pi value equal to tan inverse 2 omega L by RL. Tan inverse pi equal to tan inverse 2 omega L by RL. From that, Riffel factor equal to 4 Im by 3 root 2 pi into square root of 4 omega square L square. After simplification, we will get 5 pi gets cancelled. After simplification, 2 divided by 2 root 3 into, take RL into the square root, then we will get after simplification 1 by 1 plus square root of 1 by square root of 1 plus omega square L square by 4 omega square L square by RL. 2 divided by 2 root 2. 5 pi gets cancelled. We will get 2 divided by 3 root 2 into 1 by 1 plus 4 omega square L square divided by RL. Here 4 omega square L square by RL is far greater than 1. So neglect 4 omega square L square RL, then we will get Riffel factor RF equal to 2 by 3 root 2 into omega L by RL. Omega L by RL. Or simply after, when compared to RL values, if RL is infinitive, then output circuit will become open circuit. Then we will get Riffel factor RF equal to 2 by 3 root 2. It is simply, we can write it as load resistor is infinitive, then the output of the rectifier will be, output circuit will be open circuit, then Riffel factor will be equal to 2 by 3 root 2. It is approximately equal to the Riffel factor, full wave Riffel factor without filter. So there is no use of using filter. So we should consider load resistance should be small to get the. So the application of inductor filter is, it is used in the resistor value is low. Okay, this is the inductor or choke input filter for the full wave rectifier. Thank you.